What's up YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Salamence in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, drop a like and let's get into it. So first Pokemon set we got here on Salamence is going to be a Dragon Dance set, which is a pretty standard set that works well on it. This Pokemon is pretty much made like any Moxie user to snowball. So we've got Moxie, Intimidate as his abilities, two very, very good abilities. Now, I like to run this set probably in terms of coverage. So firstly, we've got Dragon Dance, which is going to give us an attack and speed boost. And I've got the EV spread, max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. Works pretty nicely. Last little bit of defense or special defense, wherever you want to put that. Dragon Claw is the best dragon move to go for there. You don't really want to be having outrage and locking yourself into that. It's it's pretty terrible. So you definitely want Dragon Claw unless you're going for like mega damage and you've already cleared out Fairy type Pokemon and Steel type Pokemon, because you find yourself obviously getting locked into that. So I would go for Dragon Claw. The next one I've got on there is Earthquake. So Earthquake is very, very good for any Rock or Steel type Pokemon. Steel type Pokemon love coming into Dragon Dance sweepers if they don't have any ground type coverage and stuff like that. And last move we got here is Terra Blast. So I like to run Terra Blast Steel on Salamence because obviously it's 4 times weak to Ice. This also gives you a way to hit Fairy-type Pokemon as well. And in fact, you can get a Terra Steel and then go Dragon Dance against a Fairy-type Pokemon and get yourself a Moxie, right? Some people like to run Dual Wing Beat on it, which is okay. I feel Dual Wing Beat is a little bit overrated though, personally, because it's not even 100% accurate. And I feel you don't even need the flying coverage. Really, the only purpose of Dual Wing Beat, in my opinion, is to get rid of substitutes or Pokemon with Sturdy or Focus Sash. Really, it doesn't give you that much, in my opinion. It's better having Terra Blast Steel to hit Fairy, Dragon's biggest counter, and Ice as well. Having Terra Steel is great to get around Ice. So Ice and Fairy, this moveset counters both of Salamance's biggest threat there. And I feel like it gives you the best kind of coverage too. And if you've got a Pokemon on your team that's set up, say, Stealth Rocks or Entry Hazard already, you don't have to worry about breaking Sturdies and Focus Sash. It's going to do it already. So this is definitely the best set that I've run with Salamence, and it works all the time very, very nicely. The item you can run on there are a few. As you know, I always say this, I love to run Dragon Dance sets or physical sets with the Lumberry because they can be shut down very easily by getting paralyzed or burned. So I would have that. You could have Life Orb on there, but once you're getting a Moxie or two, you don't really need damage output. It's just like pretty much destroying everything. It's very, very hard to stop this once it gets, like any Moxie user really, especially speedy ones. It's very, very hard to, to stop them after that amount of time there. So that would be my suggestion. Some other ones you could run, you could do, I'm just trying to think anything else for Terra. You could do, I don't know, you could do Terra Dragon if you wanted to. That way your Dragon Claw will be getting more damage, and then you might want to go, oh, all right, then I might pop Dual Wing Beat on there. That's maybe something you could go for. You could go for a defensive one as well for Water. That could work. That would at least get around any Ice-type moves. And Fairy would be, neutral on there. That could be an option. But aside of that, I'd go with my original set. I reckon that works the best. I personally reckon this one works really, really well. It gives you the best coverage. Like, if you want a great Salamence set, definitely for singles, maybe doubles, you could change it around a little bit. Even you could try it in a double. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but it's going to be harder to get those Moxies going and such like that. You'd have to sort of build it around it. But yeah, I definitely think that's the best Salamence set for singles, like easily. So let's have a look at the next one. So I noticed people have been starting to run Special Salamence, which is funny because it's always been, I've used it as a meme for many, many years, but people are starting to run it a little bit, I've seen. So let's have a look at this one. I run Special Salamence kind of similar. So this one I like to run as a special set, or I like to run it in the rain. There's 2 ways you can run it. It actually doesn't have a bad special attack stat either, so it can it can somewhat get away with it. So first one we got here is Hurricane. So Hurricane it's a powerful flying move there. Which is going to be very good in the rain if you're using a rain team with stuff like Pelipper and things like that for drizzle. So that's good. We got Fire Blast, obviously not so good in the rain, so this would be more of a set that you'd be using outside the rain. So Fire Blast for any Steel type Pokemon. Obviously they like coming into any Dragon type moves. So you got that. Hydro Pump is not bad coverage on a rain team as well. And I've also, mainly for a rain team. So if you're looking like Hurricane and Hydro Pump for a rain team, you get that boost on your water type moves, and you get Hurricane landing 100% of the time. The other move I put on there it's a little bit gimmicky, but I don't think it's all that bad, is Hyper Voice. This actually gives you a chance to boost your special attack because it doesn't really have any other, moves that can do that. So that could be nice at, say the opponent's seen your Intimidate, right? And they know you don't have Moxie, so you can finish them off with a Hyper Voice. They're really sort of inclined to swap their Pokemon out thinking you're going to go for a Moxie boost. So you could go for Hyper Voice, get your Throat Spray up on a weakened Pokemon, finish them off, and then proceed to use Hurricane and, those sort of moves there. Fire Blast also gives you coverage against Ice-type Pokemon and Steel-type's your biggest weakness, right? So we got Terra-type Fire. That's actually not a bad one too. I want to go back to this one. Fire could work for that as well. I want to go back on that one. I still like Steel better because you can hit Fairy types. So we've got Fire Blast. That's gonna cook any Steel types and any Ice type Pokemon, completely destroy them. Like annoying stuff like Weavile, goodbye. That's gonna get cooked. And yeah, that's not too bad. So if I was to run a rain set, obviously I'd get rid of Fire Blast for sure, like no questions, and I go like, so it does get some stuff here. It does get you got like probably, I'd have Terra Blast in there and change the Terra up. That's something you could do. It doesn't really get a great amount of special moves, so I'd be inclined to give it Terra Blast, and I'd give it something different than Fire. You could go Terra... You could go Terra Water as well, but you've already got Hydro Pump, so that seems like a bit of a waste. So maybe you could do something. You could do Terra Steel. I was talking about Terra Steel already, so that... I mean, it's not terrible. So you could I didn't even mean to make that a pun either. So you got Terra Steel there, and you could also go... You could try Stellar as well, or Fairy. That could be another one as well. So Fairy. So you could have Terra Blast Fairy, like opposing Dragon type Pokemon. That could be interesting. I don't mind this one in the rain. It could be useful. Or if you really are worried about setting up the rain, I think it even learns. Yeah, it even learns. I'm sure it learns Rain Dance. Yeah, it even learns Rain Dance. But that's probably best. I'd say that's best set up for like other Pokemon that can set that up, like Pelipper and Kyogre and things like, depending on what rule set you're playing, of course. So yeah, so that's how you want to run a physical Salamence. Or if you want something like a bit of, say you want like a bit of healing, you could put Roost on there too. Roost can somewhat be okay. Let's say we had this one as Terra Water. We'll do it like defensive. So if you've got flying, like that'll remove the flying type when you use Roost as well. So we'll just make it like pure dragon for that turn, which could allow you to somewhat live an ice move a little bit better. Or if you're weak to like rock or something like that, that could work too. But that's another way of doing it, and you could heal yourself up at the same time as well. Same sort of items. I kind of like Hyper Voice. I think that's a good way of boosting its special attack. But I guess you could do some other coverage move on there as well. All right, let's have a look at Salamence for doubles. I've done a special set and I've done a physical set here. I've tried to do different sets in the first ones because a lot of the time these sets can somewhat work in double, or definitely work in doubles too. So trying to do something different here, trying to sort of like think outside the square a bit. So we've got max special attack and max speed, timid nature. I've got Draco Meteor and a Jetpack, which works quite nicely in terms of Intimidate. I like that. That works pretty nicely, especially for doubles. Now, this is actually a pretty interesting Pokemon. It actually learns Tailwind, and it also gets Roost as well. So you've got some good options there. Maybe if you wanted a more of a support style Salamence, that could definitely work too. I've given it Heat Wave here because that hits both the opponents, and you could definitely run that on a Sun team if you wanted to with Terra Fire. So I thought that could be interesting on a Fire type team. And yeah, you can also get around your Ice type weakness there too. The other move, I gave it Protect. Yes, and I've given it Max Special Attack and Max Speed, Timid Nature. So that's possibly something that that could work for you there. Alternatively, you could run it like that, the set that I was using already, the Hurricane one in the rain. You could definitely do that there as well. But you could swap its item up if you want like Life Orb. You could do that as well if you want a bit more damage. You could even, if you want to drop Tailwind and give it and Protect and give it more offensive moves as well, you could give it Choice Specs. That could work as well. I'm trying to think of some other good moves. It does get Air Slash as well as a flying move. I will say that, but it's not going to do a lot of damage. You're only really going to get flinching. So if you're going to use a flying move, I would use either Hurricane or for a special set, or if you're going to use Terra Flying, just not really going to do much, especially in doubles. So that's a way of running it. The other set I've got is pretty good. Now, I know that Moxie isn't used a lot in doubles because it relies on getting those feints, but I think this could somewhat work if you manage to get, you have to, if you bring it on a Pokemon that doesn't have a lot, say you've got an Ice type there, right, and you bring in Salamence, and then you can have a chance at getting your Moxie up, right? So you can go Terra type Rock with Rock Slide. It does get that. And then you got Earthquake as well. So you got some nice spreading damage moves there. And you can easily couple that with something that has like Protect or Levitate or, whatever, right? And then you've got Protect, obviously, and Dragon Dance. So Dragon Dance you can use and then go for Rock Slide. That could definitely work. And that will give you a lot more base power as well. So it would start snowballing your Moxie then too. So yeah, and Rock's not bad as well because at least someone uses an Ice type move, it's going to be neutral on you. If someone uses a Rock type move against you, it's not going to be super effective. Stuff like that. Jolly Nature, Max Attack, and Max Speed, that could definitely work. Now, I gave it Wide Lens. We're very sort of relying on Rock Slide here to hit. So, for argument's sake, you could get rid of Wide Lens and give it something different. I can't, with this sort of set, I kind of would want to hit my Rock Slides. It would suck to miss them. So yeah, that's why I gave that. You could give it Life Orb though if you wanted to, or something, something like that. A good Pokemon with this set would be something with like Rage Powder and Follow Me, to take the heat off Salamence for a turn while it sets up Dragon Dance. That way you can proceed to outspeed everything and spam Rock Slide. So a Follow Me user and then a Helping Hand would be very, very helpful. And that would, try and snowball your Moxie there. But most people are going to be using Intimidate, on there. But I just like to give options for everything. Next set to look at, this one, I have tried this myself. It's pretty decent. A Critting Salamence set. So we've got Scope Lens, which is going to give it a critical hit ratio of stage, and we've got Focus Energy. So after a Focus Energy and a Scope Lens as the item, you've got 100% crit on all of your moves, which works very, very well on Draco Meter, which drops your special attack by 2 every time. So essentially you'll be critting on every turn, and you can bypass the drop on Draco Meter and hit very, very hard. Very, very powerful move there. Fire Blast or any steel types, they're going to get destroyed, and Hurricane is going to be very scary too. You could use this on a rain team and swap Fire Blast. This could work as well. This could be no joke on a rain team. You put Hydro Pump on there, so you could have that hitting in the rain, boosting, and then you got Hurricane and Draco Meter. That could be quite nasty to verse, and in critting as well. That would bypass any bulk and any drop. So another way to run Salamence. Plus, with Intimidate, you've got a chance of getting a Focus Energy up because you have dropped the opponent's attack if they are physical. As for Terra type, I'd probably opt for Dragon because you want to be hitting as hard as possible with Draco Meter. This could work in singles too, but you could try it out in doubles too if you had enough support with your partner. I will be doing some partner and counters and stuff in a set. Next set we got here. Oh, this is a terrible set, but of course, I like to try different things out. So Salamence I thought could make a fun like bulky set. So it's got Intimidate, which is always pretty good. And it's got Roost, and it actually gets Iron Defense too, which is interesting. I don't know why it gets it, but it's pretty funny. We got Fire Spin as well, and we got Breaking Swipe. So we got this sort of like stalling, roosting set. Now the EV spread on this one is Max Health and Max Special Defense, and it's got Careful Nature. So we're dropping that special attack. So really, I've got Fire Spin on there just to trap the opponent in, so I don't really care how much damage it initially does. I'm only really caring about trapping them and doing the fixed damage at the end. Breaking Swipe is there to drop the opponent's attack, you know, and make them obviously not hit you very hard, so you're able to get like roost off and continue your onslaught with Fire Spin and stuff like that. So you've got Terra type normal on here. The reason I picked normal is because it only has one weakness, being fighting type Pokemon, and most of the fighting type moves are physical, so that are used commonly. So I feel like you have enough Iron Defenses up and Breaking Swipes to be able to tank that, trap them in with Fire Spin, and slowly finish them off. The item I gave it was Moringa Berry, so if this gets hit by a special move, it's going to increase its special attack by another stage. So say if there's like a Pokemon that comes in, I'm going to use Moonblast, right? You just Terra Normal and go have that Moringa Berry activate and then use Roost. It'll be pretty hard to feint that unless the opponent has a significantly powerful, like really powerful special attacker. Salamence has a really good amount of bulk, and it's got a pretty good health stat too of 95. So you're hitting a fairly bulky Pokemon there. Bit of fun, you maybe gonna try it out. Let's have a look at some teammates now that work with Salamence. So I'll just have a think here. So, Salamence. So, Rodon Wash is really good with Salamence. But it has been for a very long time. So, it sort of covers that weakness, especially Ice-type Pokemon. And it can spread status along as well, which, is going to be useful for Salamence, to finish those Pokemon off. I'm just going to do, let's say, Stealth Rock, right? Any Pokemon with Stealth Rock is very beneficial, especially for the Moxie set. So, like Glimora, Clefable, Iron Treads, Landorus, Ting-Lu, stuff like that. Probably more focusing on singles with Stealth Rock and stuff like that. Any of those Pokemon are going to be, definitely good for that, for singles. As for doubles, a good Pokemon would be Goldengo. I mean, Goldengo is such a good Pokemon on a lot of teams. So this is going to be good at getting around any fit. Like, I would say this is probably Salamance's best sort of teammate, because it Ice is not very effective against it, and Fairy's not effective against it, and Rock's not very effective against it. So it's like, damn, it's like, that's really good, right, for terms. And then alternatively, its weaknesses are covered as well by it being a flying type and your fire and stuff like that. So what a good like combination they have there, right? Some other ones you could use. I'm trying to think. Other fire type Pokemon. Oh, your Cerulege wouldn't be bad as well. I'm just thinking of some other Pokemon. This is also weak to ground, but it could sponge those ice type moves. So that's potentially another one that you could use there. Garganacl is pretty good too. Not Ghastly. You want me to use Ghastly. Garganacl, that could be definitely good there, especially setting up Stealth Rocks and annoying with its ability. You're swapping quite a lot of the time. People try and status Salamence, so or any not the Salamence, any sort of like hyper offensive Pokemon or stat boosting Pokemon like that. It could be useful, and then Stealth Rock that could definitely work too. You sort of get the type of things that I'm going for here. Now, just some interesting kind of, if you say for example you were to do a physical set, right, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get outsped by quite a few of these faster Pokemon. Well, let's do some like with a Choice Scarf here. I just want to. So with Choice Scarf, if we were to run a Choice Scarf Salamence, right, with Moxie, because it can work if you've cleared if you've cleared out the correct counters and you've got a neutral neutral to super effective move. Even not very effective, if you got enough of them up, can work. Like a choice scarf Salamence can outspeed like Fluttermane and stuff like that. And then we got like an opposing Salamence or Garchomp and stuff like that. That can that could definitely be good. Or other, I'm thinking of other dragon type Pokemon too. How about Roaring? Yeah, Roaring Moon. Like that could definitely work as well, because that's also a threatening Pokemon for Salamence too. Like a lot of people do use Roaring Moon and Terra type Flying too. I didn't really mention Terra type Flying much, but I don't know. I just don't think it's all that good on it. I think there's better Terras, right? But there's some teammates, and to get around Salamence, any Ice type Pokemon, anything that can any real bulky water Pokemon are good as well. Dondozo, that would completely shut it down. Like that's like a solid counter. Anything like that's going to be a problem. Any fairy type Pokemon are going to be bad too. Against any of those Pokemon, Salamence absolutely has to Terra or swap out. So, there's that. Let's have a look here at some of the moves that Salamence gets, though, that we can have a look at here. So, we've gone over D-Dance, had a look at Iron Defense. Got Sub on there. Maybe you could go Sub and D-Dance, but it does take up a slot, so you're really only relying on a Dragon-type move and maybe, I don't know, Earthquake or something like that. It does get Dragon Cheer, so that you might be able to go for like Helping Hand and Dragon Cheer set. It does, and Roost and Tail. I don't know. This is going to be like a silly set, but I don't know. You could do like something like this, like fully support, because it is. I'm trying to think of any other Pokemon that get. Well, you got Roost and Tailwind, which is kind of a nice combination there. I don't think there's too many Pokemon that get that, but you've got that combination there. You could go like bulky. Let's say, for example, we wanted a really tanky Salamence. So pure support, right? Completely using it what it's not meant to be used for. So we got, you could do Dragon Cheer, increasing your critical hit ratio of an allied Dragon Pokemon. You've got Helping Hand as well, and you've got Roost and Tailwind. So you could get those speedy Tailwinds up. Or you could do something like this, like Drake or Meteor. This would be interesting, so you could set up. It's probably a little bit similar to what I already did. I don't mind this set here. I still don't mind this this sort of set. I don't mind that, because you can sort of like support another Pokemon and then heal off and put your Tailwind up, then drop a Draco and then that sort of thing. That might work. Maybe like merging those two sets together could work too. Sort of like depends what your team needs, really. Yeah. So that's something you could do with Salamence. Some other... Nah, that's pretty much all the options. It's kind of barren apart from that. So, physical options. Nothing super amazing here, I would say. I'm thinking like... I don't know, you got Facade and some other normal moves. You might be able to... It depends if Mega Salamence comes back in the game. That would be interesting. But I don't know if Mega Salamence is coming back in the game. If it has come back in the game and you're watching this guide, I'm sure that I've done one already, or I'm in the process of doing one. It does get Psychic Fangs, which can destroy screens, but there's not too much. It has Rock. We know Rock Slide. It does get Stone Edge too, which is interesting. It might work for it might work for any Ice type Pokemon. Has Temper Flare as well. That might work for like a low. Does it get any low accuracy moves at all? Oh, check this out. Let's make a PIMPNITE special here. So we've got Dragon Rush, which is absolutely horrendous. Yeah, this is a fire set. Watch this. So we're gonna make a fun little set. Matter of fact, let's make it bulky. All right, so we've got this Salamence here, right? It's good. Let's go Terra Fire. So we've got Dragon Rush and Temper Flare. You can see what's sort of going on here, right? And then we've got Blunder Policy. So if we get a speed drop if a move misses, we get that. And we get a double base power on Terra Fire, Temper Flare, which will drop pretty hard, and coverage is tight weakness. What else can we give it? What other low accuracy moves do we have? Ooh, Stone Edge. Yeah, I was just talking about that. So Stone Edge could be good there too. We'll whack that on there. Okay, what's our coverage looking like? So we got a Dragon move. Ice. That's not bad. That's actually not all that bad, coverage there. You could put Dragonets on that as well, you know. You could actually do that. Or you could put Moxie on there. You could put Moxie. Maybe even go with Moxie. Just go like crazy power. Yeah, okay. So put Moxie on there, and then yeah, or D-Dance. I'm not sure. Like you got dual wing beat as well. I don't know if that would really bring anything to that set. Accuracy. Let's have a look again. Yeah, I mean, dual wing beat, you know what? You could put dual wing beat on there. That could work. So, dual wing beat, and then you sort of rely on Moxies. Bit of a fun set you could try with Salamence. You know, something to get a try out there. And you'd be very fast, too. They'd be like crazy speed after that. Like just one of those. Unless you got very unlucky and, you know, kept hitting them all and stuff. So, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the rest of this. There's really not too many things here. Yeah, that's it. I think it's funny because back in the day you could actually get. I think there's a Salamence that had Wish, and I made this like tanky one with it, but it doesn't get Wish anymore. Its other moves are special, so we've sort of had a look at this. Air Slash. Air Slash is okay. I like Hurricane better. Hurricane is going to work better on. I like Hurricane and Hydro Pump. I feel like they work nicely on a weather team. And then you've got the only thing if you use Hurricane or Hydro Pump on a weather team, you don't really want to use Fire Blast. But if you're using a non-weather team, say you're using something with Sun, you can go Fire Blast and Air Slash then, you know. So that could work in Draco Meteor. It does get Dragon Pulse, but it's kind of weak. So I would stick with Draco for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Salamence. Overall, Salamence is a quality mid to late game Moxie sweeper. Can easily clean up definitely in singles. Doubles is a lot harder to do because it's got a lot of big weaknesses. So you either need a lot of support from a teammate. Let's say something like, I have Rage Powder. I think Follow Me Pokemon might work better. I'm thinking like Rage Powder. See, none of those are really like very good because maybe Scovillain. I'm just thinking of ice moves, right? So it might Follow Me's probably. I reckon Follow Me's the go. Let's have a look here. I was thinking about this. So, Ogerpon Wellspring. You got a Half Flame. Half Flame's more of a defensive, so there wouldn't be much point doing that. So if I wanted to do this, I'd go with Clefable. And I'd go with, or Ogerpon Wellspring, right? And then you'd have Helping Hand on it. Especially on that, both of them get it. So, you, for example, you know how I was talking about that other set there? So, you have Follow Me. I've done a Clefable set as well. If you are curious, you can go have a look at that. Just implement what I've saying into to this set, for example. So, we got Follow Me and Helping Hand on here. And that would work really well with this set, because you could go Follow Me, get the D-Dance up, then go Helping Hand Terra Rock on Rock Slide. That would be pretty. If you would manage to get a Moxie up, that would be very, very scary and hard to stop. And being a Rock type, it would only be weak to stuff like maybe Bullet Punch, Mach Punch. You're resistant to extreme speed. And other things like that. But just something to think about there. Overall, a very good Moxie Pokemon. It can run some special sets for a bit of surprise, and it has the ability to run a little bit of Tailwind support in doubles and such as well there. So I hope this gave you something to think about. Cool Pokemon. I like Dragon Pokemon. If there's a Pokemon you want to suggest that I haven't done yet, just check out the playlist first before you suggest one. Put it below there if you enjoyed it, if you learned something new, if it helped you out, drop a like, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.